Gaetano Maria da Bergamo. A paradise is only for the humble, everyone therein will have more or less glory according to his degree of humility. The proof of true humility is patience. I ought to be most grateful to anyone who helps to keep me in humility by subjecting me to humiliations of word and deed, because he is cooperating with the divine mercy to fulfill the work of my eternal salvation. And though he has no thought of my salvation when he offends me, he is nevertheless an instrument thereof, and all the evil comes from me if I do not make a good use of it. The benefit is real although he who confers it has no intention that it should be so. An insult is only an insult in the intention of the man who gives it, and the humiliation belongs only to him who receives it, and it is a most secure means of acquiring and practicing humility, if he knows how to receive it in a Christian spirit. How great our sin must be when, knowing in our minds that God deserves to be obeyed by us, we oppose our will to the will of God. It is a folly to seek to be praised and honored by men and to glory in it, rather than gain the praise and honor of God and all the angels and saints in heaven. Pride is vice not so easily known. It goes masked and disguised in many forms, even putting on the semblance of virtue, and thus less easy to escape from. Whoever wishes to exalt himself above others imitates Lucifer. Pride is full of valor in giving offense, but cowardly in taking it. The soul is truly humble when it recognizes that its true position in the order of nature, or of grace, is entirely dependent on the power, providence and mercy of God. Pride is an obstacle harder than steel, which hinders the beneficent infusion of grace into the soul. God fills with His grace those hearts which are emptied of self. A saint can in a moment become a sinner if he is vain of his sanctity. A sinner can as quickly become a saint if he is contrite and humbles himself for his sin. Who knows if the one I judge and speak ill of may not be dearer to God than I am? God often permits us to fall into the very faults that we have condemned in others. Every morning we ought to make this prayer and daily offering to God: I offer thee all my thoughts, all my words and all my actions of this day. Grant that they may all be of humility to thy glory. Heaven is filled with the humble, hell is filled with the proud. God will not come, even if thou call upon him, if thou art puffed up. As the root of the tree is hidden under the earth and sends all its strength up into the branches, so pride remains hidden in the heart and secretly influences every sin through its action. As humility is generally called weak and contemptible by the blind lovers of this world, so pride is called courage and greatness. God banished angels from heaven for their pride. Therefore, how can we pretend to enter therein if we do not keep ourselves in a state of humility? To confess that God is what He is, the Omnipotent, and to declare that we are but nothingness before Him, this is to be humble. As man, I have in my corrupt nature a proclivity to every evil, a capability of committing all kinds of sins. If I do not commit them, it is through a special grace of God which preserves and restrains me. We must perpetually labor to acquire humility. Never imagine to have acquired it. Should we have obtained it in some degree, we must continue to strive after it as though we did not possess it, in order that we may be able to keep it.